Rastafarians, and the mystique of Bob Marley.
I don't have a religion, you know. I am what I am, you know, and I am a Rasta man. So religion is not, this is not religion, this is the life.
Rastafarianism is a spiritual philosophy that found its principal means of expression through Bob Marley and the Wailers. More than a religion, but truly a movement and a way of living, ample, profound, and free. Junior Marvin, historical guitarist of the group, opens the Rasta spirituality to everyone.
What I understand about it, anyone can be a Rasta. You just have to have a desire for the truth, to seek the truth. Doesn't matter what clothes you wear, color of your hair, color of your skin, what category of race you might be put in, it's irrelevant.
Producer Lee Scratch Perry, one of the discoverers of the band and the living legend of the music of Jamaica, defines it here.
Well, Rasta's supposed to be righteous and holy. And when you grow your hair, that means to say you should not do anything wrong. You should be priests and teachers and prophets and let the people follow you.
What's relevant is that whether through innocence or through meditation or through what we call intellect, finding peace with yourself and finding the truth first from yourself is Rasta.
Under the British domination, slavery in Jamaica multiplied faster than marijuana. Selling or renting men and women was an everyday practice. This 1829 ad offered people as though they were merchandise, placed side by side with other household goods. Slaves brought their religious roots to the New World along with inexpensive handwork, but they needed leaders to organize them. One of them was this man, the admired Jamaican preacher Marcus Garvey, who started the Rasta ideology with a historical prophecy around 1920. Look to Africa, where a black king shall be crowned, for the day of deliverance is near. Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey is everything. He's our heartbeat, our teacher. I can explain how great Marcus Garvey is because we'll never have a greater prophet than that. And he might not hear in the flesh, but that spirit cannot die. That is a spirit that lives forever. Marcus Garvey is perfect.
Marley raised the volume of Garvey's preaching in search of the black union. This preacher became a symbol of spiritual struggle to such an extent that he's considered the reincarnation of the greatest prophet in the Bible.
I tell you a thing that Marcus Garvey was Moses too. He was also Moses.
Respected by black leaders like Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela, Garvey had a dream, to have the slaves return home to Africa.
L'Afrique deviendra la terre promise, les lieux qui relient tout ce peuple qui sont venus de nombreux pays et de nombreuses ethnies. Il devient un lieu unique, mais qui va être symbolisé dans un point fondamental de la géographie africaine, qui est l'Éthiopie. L'Éthiopie est le lieu sacré de l'Afrique.
On November the 2nd, 1930, Garvey's prophecy becomes true. A Christian Copt named Tafari Makonnen had the title of Ras and was the crown emperor of Ethiopia. As in every philosophy, that sacred place in Africa is especially mentioned in the Bible, according to the Rasta point of view.
Ethiopia will rush to extend its hands toward God.
L'Éthiopie devient alors un siège biblique, la patrie biblique en Afrique, de tous ces peuples esclaves, et devient l'idéal fondamental de l'âge d'or du peuple noir, du peuple africain.
Although the word coming from Ethiopia, Rastafari, the translation in English, as we know it, is head creator. Like the creator, like our Father, God.
The Rastafari from Ethiopia became for thousands of faithful never more nor less than the Black Messiah, Haile Selassie. King of Kings and Lord of the Lords. According to the Rasta vision, it is him who the Bible refers to with those same words.
And in his robe this name is written, King of Kings and Lord of the Lords.
They had no doubts. The Savior had come. According to the Rasta interpretation, he was a descendant from the lineage of David and Solomon of Israel. Solomon and the Ethiopian Queen Makeda gave birth to Menelik I, starting through him the Hebrew tradition in Ethiopian land. Rastafari is the direct descendant born 225 generations after the great Solomon and sharing the same blood with Jesus.
Avec ces 225 générations, bien que nous ne pouvons pas vérifier si cela est réel, ce que l'on sait est qu'il y a eu une conversion de peuples africains au judaïsme au début de l'ère chrétienne et qui ont donné naissance au peuple Falasha qui fut rapatrié plus tard, il y a 15 ou 20 ans en Israël et qu'effectivement, ils avaient comme religion une forme de judaïsme très archaïque, celui d'il y a 2000 ans.
Selassie represents the family of Christ on earth. Selassie represents the house of David. Selassie represents, if you like, as the 12 tribes would put it, Christ in his kingly character.
Because I wouldn't tell you that Rastafari is God, you know what I mean? And yet the Bible tell you that within 2,000 years Christ shall return, and when he return, he's going to be King of Kings, Lords of Lords, conquering line of tribe of Judah. Through the lineage of King Solomon and King David. Now that is a reality of the whole truth, and the truth is that His Majesty is earth's rightful ruler.
Half man, half God, the new Jesus was endowed with supernatural powers, and it was said that he could, for example, fully quote by heart any sacred book. His teaching came from heaven.
So the teaching of His Majesty is a truth towards mankind. It's not, him don't make war or nothing. It's a teaching, you know. No, this is a teaching, right? As someone who set the example, one must follow and one must live. And His Majesty is the only one, and the perfect one who do it.
I am the root and lineage of David, the resplendent morning star.
I learned through the Christian faith, and in Rastafarism it's Orthodox Christianity, which is a mixture of Judaism and Christianity.
A new religion like the Rastafarian has several points of contact with one of the oldest religions, Judaism. For the Rastas, Jamaica and all the oppressive Occidental systems are Babylon, while Ethiopia is Zion, the promised land, where they must return. Those phrases are also used in the Hebrew tradition.
The word Babel in Hebrew means confusion. Babylon, for us Jews, Babylon means basically expulsion, diaspora, and sitting in a foreign place where we have the aspiration of going back to Zion. Zion means the promised land.
La Jamaïque devient Babylone. Alors de Babylone, il faut retourner à Sion. De cette manière, la Jamaïque fonctionne mythiquement, donnant impulsion pour sortir de la confusion, et tel le peuple juif, le peuple élu, de retourner à Sion, c'est-à-dire en Éthiopie.
Recent scientific findings confirm Ethiopia as the cradle of humanity.
Les mots Éthiopie conforment le relie des peuples d'Éthiopie, du Soudan et de l'Égypte, c'est-à-dire des sociétés où existèrent des hautes cultures, plusieurs millénaires avant les Grecs, les Romains et les Occidentaux.
And from my studies, I discovered that the original Bible was written in Ge'ez, which is the church language in Ethiopia. And then it was translated into Amharic, Latin, Spanish, English, Italian, French, etc.
When we return, the Black Jesus in sight of all his faithful in Jamaica, and the almost secret rituals that only a few can see. This is Rastafarians and the Mystique of Bob Marley.
Estás viendo Infinito. Abre tu mente.
April 21st, 1966. A historical day at Kingston Airport. The crowds can't believe their eyes. The Black Jesus himself, God in flesh and blood, steps down from the airplane ladder. The so-called Lion of the tribe of Judah sets his foot for the first time and only time in Jamaican land and gives the crowd his blessing.
Freedom to me is when the people unite. Freedom means I must be free within myself. My mind must be free. The only way my mind can be free is when I praise Rastafari.
The Lion of Judah. For the Rastas, the Bible also refers to him with that title.
Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book.
Some even assure that Rita, Marley's wife who was present during the festivities, believes she saw the stigma of Christ on the emperor's right hand, though that has never been proven true. Selassie received mystical Rasta King Emmanuel and other members of the movement. The incarnated Jesus was face to face with his devotees and also presided over several formal events. 3 days later, on his departure, the long-sought dream to return the islanders to Africa, to the land of Shashimane, seemed almost to be a fact.
Some of the first settlers that went to Ethiopia believed that they could just go to Shashimane land and sit down and smoke ganja and say that we were in heaven. And Selassie actually told them off. He said, no, we have a country to rebuild here.
And the thing about repatriation is that's something you do from the inside. You know, you have to find your home from the inside, not the outside. So you can repatriate to anywhere as long as you have the love and the feeling from inside of you.
Repatriation is a must, but depend on the people who want to repatriate. We are the people who want to repatriate, most people that have brain to create and recreate another nation.
The Exodus, the dream to return to Ethiopia, abandoning slavery in Babylon. Exodus, the best album of the 20th century according to Time magazine, was an extraordinary preaching to go back to the source, a prayer of the multitudes.
And I believe in repatriation. And if people so decide to repatriate, it's best to gather all kind of knowledge and wisdom to take back to your roots to make it better.
Because you don't need the people to go to Ethiopia to make war, or to say this is my land or this was my land. But that was your land, you don't need to go and say we're demanding this. You go to teach.
In the meantime, in the Jamaican mountains, the closest possible place to heaven, the most spiritually committed Rastafarians are preparing for the moment to finally cross the Atlantic. Among the different Rastas' orders, the Bobo Shanti is one of the most traditional.
We say Bobo, that means interpretation, African children. There's a lot of Bobo, not just here on this hill, in St. Andrew, Jamaica, but we are scattered. So right now we would say, yes, we would want to gather all the African children. More Ethiopia, because in Ethiopia is the head, is the crown head. And we have to go through the head where His Majesty has opened for us.
In this Bobo Shanti field in 9 miles, Jamaica, Hand-painted outdoor signs remind us constantly of the Bible's teachings. Others confirm the collective desire of equality and justice for all. Goodness over evil, the R of righteousness over the X of wrong, evil. This is a Bobo Shanti ceremony that starts at 3 in the morning and is repeated several times a day.
Well, you rise up. Our daily routines, churchically, would be like on a day-to-day basis. Like we rise up for Psalms, 3 o'clock in the morning. We rise up 3, 9 and 3. 3 in the morning, 9 mid-morning, and 3 evening dawn setting. And these times are even training us for the same time movement that Africa is upon. So while half of the world is still sleeping, we're up or rising already, you know, covering, you know, getting a lot of things done, spiritually, physically, and mentally. So it is the resurrection, redemption, then the repatriation. You know, we couldn't just run and go Africa. You know, we'd have to prepare ourselves, you know, organize, centralize, purify, you know, redeem, be redeemed, born again.
The day of the Sabbath, celebrated in the Jewish tradition, is another characteristic also based in the Bible.
The seventh day is to rest for Jehovah your God. On it, don't do anything at all.
The main difference is that Bobo Shanti observe the Sabbath. Another spiritual precepts and concept. Where I observe majority of the other Rasta houses.
The turban, worn as if it was a crown, is another distinctive feature.
Due to the principle and the teaching of King Emmanuel, Arana as Ethiopian, our creation image and adornments, our creation raiments, start from the dreadlocks, wrapped within the turban requirements, robe and turban, yes, is our ancient dressing as Ethiopian.
The Bobo Shantis carefully take care of their fields. They can also build their homes there, but only those who have earned the privilege. In some of these communities, there's no electricity. In others, no running water. This little fountain is carefully piped and filtered by them. Nothing can drive them away from introspection and the spiritual cult. They keep the fire of life lit at the top of the mountain. And between prayers, they manufacture brooms to be sold in town. But the Rastas of the 12 tribes of Israel order are the ones that celebrate Rastafari's birthday with the most popular events. Devotees of all ages celebrate in their most representative way, singing traditional songs. They build their small constructions by hand up in the hills. And they get together in communities to live a simple, natural life. Entire families live together, dedicated to spirituality and meditation. They read from the Bible, 1 chapter a day, until they finish it in a little over 3 years. When we return, the significance of their symbols, dreadlocks, the Lion of Judah, natural food, and the Rasta sacrament, signs of smoke to connect with their God. This is Rastafarians and the Mystique of Bob Marley.
Estás viendo Infinito. Abre tu mente.
The Rasta book on the bedside table is the Kebra Nagast, which means Glory of the Kings, originally written in ancient Ethiopian. The Holy Pibi, or Bible of the Blacks, is another of their consulting textbooks. Even though they also read the conventional Bible, many affirm that it has been falsified by the white power. One of them is the historical whaler bass player and the band's musical director, Aston family man Barrett.
Christian organization tell you about a lot of things from the Bible of God and things, and the Nazarene and things like that when they are ready. But you know, some of it is Bible verses and some is Bible stories. Like you're reading a storybook, you know what I mean? So sometimes they read stories and another time they give you a little verse. But they don't keep you strictly on the Bible verse because there's these, Bible what been taken from one Bible, translated, and some been edited, and some been modified, and some been formatted, all of these kind of stuff.
Gary Pine, current lead singer of the Wailers, adds to the debate.
Them say Jesus is this and Jesus is that, but them don't really say the truth about Jesus. Them never tell us that Jesus is a Rasta man. Them never tell us that Jesus is a black man. Because when my foreparents coming out of the West, the white man say, this is my Jesus. And true we bound under slavery, somehow we have to praise that. But now we get our own identity.
But we need to know the half what never been told. So that is what we have to pick up through the knowledge of wisdom. Because Father said that as time goes by, knowledge shall increase.
Chinaman said Jesus look like him. Check the Russian said Jesus look like him. So why I as a black man can't say that? I have to say that. And I have to show the people say Jesus is Rasta. You know?
And in the biblical tradition, its African symbolism can be seen clearly expressed by the classic green, yellow and red of the Ethiopian flag.
Le symbole fondamental qu'ils utilisent est un lion couronné avec une bannière verte, jaune et rouge avec une croix. D'une part, le lion de Judée, couronné comme le royaume des Sions, qu'il va devenir. Un royaume des Sions qui porte les couleurs de l'Éthiopie et pas d'Israël. Par contre, le main porte une croix pour rappeler qu'ils sont des chrétiens.
This symbol comes alive when it's incorporated into the individual image of each Rastafarian, through the dreadlocks, lion-like headdresses that are reminiscent of the ancient Ethiopian warriors.
Dreadlocks is just to show Babylon that we're strong, you know, than the precepts. Because we don't want to live like our Babylon, so we must live.
The idea of long hair symbolizes not only physical strength, but also wisdom, spiritual force. We can see through the Bible that long hair and long beard was mainly the spirituality and the wisdom about God.
The Rastas won't cut their hair until the liberation of Babylon and follow the tradition of the Nazarenes, guided by the sacred books.
No blade will touch his head until the days of his separation from Jehovah are over. He will be sanctified. Let his hair grow.
According to the Jewish tradition, Nazarites were some special, different people who were consecrated entirely to God, to spirituality. They were making vows that they will not drink anything alcoholic in their lives, and basically to grow their beards and their hairs. And it seems that their force came from the hair, who was connecting them with the divinity, with the divine.
This is recognition and strength, lion, in a Babylon, in a this time, you know? So that is me, and that is all Rasta.
In the same way Christians have their Eucharist, Rasta theology has its sacrament, consuming marijuana to reach God.
But it's not mean you have to smoke it, you can burn it too. and say a prayer. You can burn it in the fire with incense and with oil and say a prayer. You don't have to be smoking it all the time, and you don't have to smoke.
So there's a lot of positive things for it, but that information is not given to the general public. What information is given is that basically one thing leads to another. So if you smoke marijuana, one day you will smoke crack. One day you will do this, one day you will do that. But I don't think that's necessarily true.
The herb is the most mystic weed that God makes, and we should learn to use it and not abuse it.
And marijuana can make jackets, boots, all kind of things. So if all the countries of the world would spend time to study marijuana and bring all the medicinal purposes or the medicine out of it to be good for the human race.
It seems that Ruach and Reyach have the same root. And obviously there is a direct relationship between the spirit and also the smell of a good fragrance. There is a way to worship God through the smell of the aroma of a good fragrance.
I support them in their struggle for their herbs, but I don't smoke.
It's really something that needs to take an extra minute to study about, because it's not all about losing your mind to smoke some ganja. It's truly acknowledging the heights. Respect.
Although people were not smoking during religious services or during sacrifices in the old Temple of Jerusalem, there is a presence of what we call ketoret asamim. It's the smelling of herbs, of nice aromas, nice fragrances during the religious service. And there is a whole treat of the Talmud talking about how to prepare those herbs and how to prepare those special aromas, those special fragrances in order to give not only a beautiful presence to the worship, but also to contact between man and God through the smelling of the Ketoret Asamim.
You see, I get stopped by police, and automatically the police look at me and they say, "Where is the ganja?" Then I say, "I don't smoke ganja," and they don't believe it.
It's good, it's good in a way. Because, you know, it's hard to control everybody, I know that.
And all the time I'm trying to tell people, you know, that the truth is, actually, if you look at the Rastas all over the world, universally, internationally, more Rastas don't smoke than do smoke.
Besides the sacred plant, other vegetables have become part of the Rastafarian life through natural nutrition, ital food. No meat, alcohol or milk products, nor conservatives. Many are vegetarians, and they only use coconut oil in cooking.
I mean, your body is your temple, you know. You are what you eat. So the warning has been put out. Be careful what you eat. You may become something you don't want.
Rasta said no. Because if Jah give us this earth for all of us to live together, and I am making my choice, and you make your choice. When Jah comes, we sort out who is right and who is wrong.
You know, many English people will want Rasta to marry the daughter.
But if there is one concept that can define the Rasta philosophy, it is without doubt one love, a unique love for all without distinctions.
And to love everyone, like the song said, one love, let's get together, feel all right.
We're all interconnected, and we're all one, you know, and we all come from different places, but we all call God many different names, but we're the same one still.
Rasta views his peace, love and unity onward to Mount Zion. Because we know say this life is not permanent. No matter how much generation you see come and go, this life, earthly life, is not permanent. There's something much more better, you know, much better. And it's a bigger thing.
That's the reason why, in the heart of every authentic Rasta, there will always be songs of love to the human race. Songs of freedom, of hope, of redemption. When we return, the major Rasta apostle evangelizes to the world with his music as the soundtrack of the Bible and becomes a sacred icon. This is Rastafarians and the Mystique of Bob Marley.
Estás viendo Infinito. Abre tu mente.
Bob Marley and the Wailers! Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Marley and the Wailers! Bob Marley, yeah!
C'est la musique reggae de Bob Marley et les Wailers qui a éclaté sur la scène mondiale. Les premières
Bob Marley and the Wailers! Who do you think is the #1 reggae group in the world today?
Yes, you know, come along with Jalim, children!
In the middle of the 70s, Marley captivated the world with the hypnotic rhythm of his pop prayers.
I don't come to bow, you know, I come to conquer. I don't come to bow, I come to conquer.
He was acknowledged as a predestinated man, a being of light, confronting the darkness of Babylon. His musicians remember him this way.
Well, for me it was an honor, you know, because he worked very hard with his music. He worked hard on himself to be more in tune, because with success sometimes comes negative, so he wants balance. So with success he's trying to stay with God, you know, so there's balance, always give thanks.
I would see him as a brother, a friend, and one who opened doors for other Jamaican musicians. He was the one that was blessed, as if, I would say he was like a prophet, because a lot of people look towards Bob for comfort in words and songs.
I learned a lot from the experience of how to be focused, how to exchange love through music, you know, and try to give somebody an inspiration to enjoy life, you know, to be at one with God and enjoy life.
The Wailers, a word that means those who mourn, were the perfect group to partner in his preaching. A band of apostles with one mission: join heaven and earth through sacred music. Beloved, but also feared. The first superstar of the Third World who was watched by the CIA. His guitar shot too much. They feared that he could destabilize the politics of the Caribbean with his claims for freedom, a not well appreciated word for domineering interests. For many, the assault, where he almost lost his life in 1976, had the flavor of a Yankee plot.
Entertainer and reggae star Bob Marley, Rita Marley, and the manager of the Wailers, Don Taylor, are now patients in the University Hospital after receiving gunshot wounds during a shooting incident which took place at Marley's home at 56 Hope Road tonight.
Marley said that his god, Selassie, had protected him.
How good and how pleasant it is for a night to dwell together in one perfect harmony. Jah Rastafari, who liveth and reigneth with I and I continually, ever faithful, ever sure. Jah Rastafari! Jah!
In the history of religions, there has never been a preacher so pop that could touch all sectors of society. On stage, Marley was a tribal priest in trance, captivating thousands of possessed souls that danced his ritual dance. He became the official voice of the movement with an uncommon sense of magic. Marley was an evangelizer that would accept only one master, his God, Jah, Jehovah, to whom he would sing, obeying the Bible once again.
Sing to God, sing psalms in his name. Hail him who rides over the skies. Jah is his name.
Spirit of the reggae music is an invisible force, and it's a positive force, and it's a lamp that is light. It's an invisible lamp, and you follow it, then you will reach exactly where you're going.
But what makes this music so special?
Well, the good vibration, of course, is coming from the Psalms of King David, coming from the chief musicians, the archangels.
Reggae music is the people music, and reggae music is news. It's news about your own self, your own history, things that you wouldn't teach in a school.
Many of Marley's songs refer directly to the Bible, as mentioned in the modern version of the Kebra Nagast.
The music what we play is like the living Bible in Amharic, but the living Bible in English. Because, that's all it tells about, the positive things. Trying to keep the young people in line so that they don't walk on the wild side.
In one of those songs, titled War, the lyrics that the Wailers used were Selassie's famous 1968 address before the United Nations, thus creating a declaration of principles, a Rastafarian's spiritual hymn.
Les puissances impérialistes, dont les colonialistes belges, ne sont que l'instrument. Nous devons opposer les fronts unis des peuples libres et des peuples en lutte d'Afrique.
My favorite, I think there are quite a few, but my favorite is War. The voices were perfect, the melody was perfect, it was just, the drum and bass was perfect, it was just like one song for me that has a lot of meaning, a lot of depth, a lot of information.
A plea for equality to a society too unjust and violent. A society for which he struggled from the stage, like the time when he had two opposite politicians, Michael Manley and Edward Seaga, to embrace each other amicably before a multitudinous crowd in Jamaica. Practical spirituality, a gesture very much in Marley's style.
This work, this peace work, it don't stop, it never stop. We know it never stop. That means we the youth get our work to do.
Love, trust.
As if they would be our fathers, to be danced, as church songs taken to the crowds. This movement, considered one of the most modern in history, carries its preachings with a solid force of sung prayer.
So when Bob Marley sing a song like, no woman no cry, no woman no cry, advising the sisters to stay strong in the struggle. Because if you lose it on the inside, you're going to lose it everywhere else. So you have to have a strong spiritual sense and a strong mind.
A last message from Bob reached his world fans at the beginning of the 80s to face rumors about his health.
Hail Rasta, I don't think you can rascal me. I understand that writers and people in the press are very concerned about my health. I want to say thank you for your interest and that I'll be alright and I'll be back on the road again in 1981. Recording, performing with the fans we love. Beautiful. You know, Bob talking to you, don't have no doubt. See? Good.
Soon after, he lost his...
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures.
36 years were enough for him to accomplish his mission and achieve the impossible, to become the image of his own religion, starting a legend definitely immortal.
That is the future. Rasta is the future. See? Yes. Rasta is the future still.
Infinito y Editorial Kier presentan Jornada Especial de las Charlas para la Evolución. Presentación del libro Rastafaris, la mística de Bob Marley, de Darío Bermúdez. La versión libro del documental homónimo. Con invitado sorpresa y material inédito sobre Marley, presentado por Bush Teledoctor. Miércoles 12 de octubre, 18:30 horas. En el Ateneo, Florida 340, segundo piso, Capital Federal. Entrada gratuita. Es otra iniciativa de Infinito y Editorial Kier. Infinito. Abre tu mente.